Right now the cows are over in the shade. Once they start seeing me do this, they're gonna be right here at this gate, ready to get through the gate. Hey there folks, this is Josh, Stoney Ridge Farmer. Welcome back to another gorgeous day here on the Stoney Ridge Farm. We're getting ready to do a big cattle move here. We're gonna be moving the cows from a lower pasture in front of the house back here to this pasture. And they're gonna stay here for about a month, maybe even longer. I'm worried, I'm concerned, totally concerned. I want to get down here. We're going to show you guys what's going on. We are in near drought conditions here in North Carolina, and it's very concerning for forage for the cattle. There's a lot going on here. So today's gonna be fun. We're gonna move the cows and I'll show you guys what I'm worried about. I'm really worried. We're also gonna be firing up the solar well system here. We'll walk through that and we'll show you guys how all that works. We've got the reels, all the strain right reels all set up right here. We're gonna be putting in some step-in posts, and you're gonna see the huge struggle that I've got to go through getting these step-in posts. I've been waiting for rain. We need rain to move the cows across the farm and to put in our step-in posts, and it's just not working. So come along as we have a little bit of fun and we'll show you what's going on here. It's sad. Things are really dry. All right guys, welcome to the Stoney Ridge Farm channel. If this is your first time to the channel, please pound the like button and jump in and subscribe. I'd love to have you back. This is a first generation farm project here in the foothills of the Blue Ridge Mountains of North Carolina, and we've got a lot of fun stuff going on. So what I got going here is I've got an electric fence set up around the perimeter of my solar well system, and this is a Lawrence solar well system. I'll post a link down the video description in case you guys want to look into a system like this. This is how we'll be watering the cows on this side of the farm, and we've got a lot of stuff going on. We'll be installing complete water systems over here on this side of the farm a little bit later on this year. I just ordered 10 Mira fount waterers, and I'm super excited about that. So first thing we're going to do, I've got a solar setup right here. This is my solar power for my electric fence. I'm going to turn that off. And this is the water tank right here that's fed by the well. This is a 400-gallon water tank. This setup does not work in cloudy weather, and it doesn't pump in the dark. It doesn't work unless it has sunlight and the appropriate amount of sunlight on that solar panel right there. So what I have to do is, for now, I have this ABI water trailer set up right here, and this has 1,000 gallons of water storage. We're going to take a look inside that 1,000 gallons of water storage so you guys know what it's all about. So it comes out of the well, which is right there, to a hose bib. This is temporary, to a water hose that feeds this tank right here. You've got to improv. You have to learn improvisation. You have to think all this stuff through if you're starting a farm, if you're starting something like this. You can't just jump up and get your farm degree and all of a sudden you've got everything in place. So it takes time. Let's show you the water trailer real quick. So this critter right here is the ABI water trailer. It is 1,000 gallons of potable water. Potable, whatever you want to say. The way this critter works is we've got two options. We can actually hook this pump in and pump from the creek. We can also use this pump to a hose, which we can use for fire suppression on the farm. And that hose is sitting right there. That hose is instrumental if you set your farm on fire. So I've got on the back side of this critter, it also will pump to this. So if you've got a dust problem, and we live on a gravel road, and oftentimes I'll have to hook this up to the tractor and I'll pull it behind and I'll blow water out the back of this thing to keep the dust down on the farm. Let's hop up on the fender here and we'll show you. There's a step on the other side, but who needs that? All right, so here's the lid. I anticipate this thing to be almost full. Let's open her up. Now the black color on this is a 2-layered setup right here. So it's not just one layer, it's 2 layers to keep the water temperature down. The black color helps to prevent algae because algae needs sunlight to grow, okay? So if you can't get any light in there, nothing will grow, okay? Open her up, yeah, and you can see right there is the water. That's it, crystal clear. awesome water. We're gonna go ahead and I'm gonna fire up the well, and the water actually comes in right here. There's a float valve right here, so this shuts off and then it gravity feeds over to that tank right there. So let's fire up the well. This is really fun, it's really simple, and it's an awesome way, an eco-smart way to water your cattle right here. So all we've got to do is flick the switch and the well should come on. The pressure is reading a little bit high, so we're gonna go ahead and turn on our hose bib, and we should hear the well start to kick in and start to pump. This well system right here, this cost me about $6 grand. This is 460 feet deep. So we'll go ahead and turn on our hose bib. Well, this is the wellhead right here. This is a, I believe, 6-inch PVC casing, and that casing goes down in the ground to the bedrock, okay? Out from this casing comes a couple meters, a couple pressure gauges and stuff like that. You can see that pressure gauge right there. It looks like we've got a serious boo-boo. I don't know how in the world that could have happened. Mice chewed this wire in half. Ugh. So this might pose a problem right here. We've got plenty of water in here. We'll still move the cows up, but I think I'm gonna have to splice this. What a bummer. Mice, really? It's been chewed on, it's been bit in two, and that is a pressure sensor right there. That will tell the well to turn on and off. So it's not telling the well to turn on. Bummer. When you got a farm, you're the plumber, you're the electrician, you're the carpenter, you're the everything. That is a total bummer. I have no clue how that happened. Whew, more concerns. So we've got everything on, everything's in place. I've got to go get wire strippers and take care of that. It won't be a big deal, I hope. Fingers crossed there. We're gonna go ahead and we're gonna get the cows moved up here. In order to put the cows up here, again, I've got the electric fence turned off. I only want the cattle in this little section of pasture. That's about 3 acres right there. That's enough to sustain the cows for about 3 to 4 days. So I'm gonna walk down here and I'm gonna take my poly wire, and hopefully it's off. I don't hear it popping. We'll take my poly wire and we'll go ahead and hook it up, and we'll make sure this entire pasture, this section of pasture, is blocked off. Very, very simple operation here, guys. And I hear something popping. I hope this don't shock me. Take it loose here. Take it loose there. When I get ready to reopen, I'll just take this wire back loose. We're gonna take it right over here. And this is a pretty clever little way that I figured out how to hook this wire on. This step-in post is in the ground over here, and it provides a lever on the outside of the fence. So all I have to do is that right there. We're ready to rock and roll. So we're good to go. We've got that field right there, separate from this field right here. Look at how dry this is. This is like the Sahara Desert of North Carolina pastures. This is not good. Very, very dry. This is broom straw. This is an indication of low pH and poor soil quality. Guys, we're leaving the broom straw out here so we know where we need to unroll our hay bales this winter. So we'll be rolling hay bales out on all this and putting nutrient in the soil, which will help it to heal the land. Moving right along, you can see what we've got here. So this tank is lower than that right there. So it gravity feeds out of that tank. We've got 1,000 gallons of water, so we don't have to worry about the fact that the well's not working. We've got 3 days worth of water right there. This guy's good to go. You'll notice the poly wire runs right over the center of the tank, so they can drink from this side or they can drink from this side. So that's important. See that poly wire running right down the center of the tank? I like to put some goldfish in here, but sometimes the girls will drink this all the way down. Now we'll reach down here with our IntelliShock. What is this? The IntelliShock 120. I'll post a link to that down in the video description. We'll reach down, turn it on, we're ready to rock and roll. This little poly wire is enough to keep the cows out from in here, and I did not anticipate other critters biting that wire, but this will keep the cows out from in this section until we build a permanent fence around this wellhead. So we've got 2 reels right here. This is a true test reel. It's a geared reel, and this is a strain right reel, a better geared reel. All of our fencing supplies come from Farm Fence Solutions. I'll post a link to those guys down in the video description. So a lesson to be learned: don't overfill your geared reel or it will pop off around the outside edges right here and cause you some serious problems. This will be a very, very simple process, aside from the fact that it's so stinking dry out here. So we're going to show you guys how hard it is to put a step-in post in this ground that is just like concrete. It is really, really hard. Then we're going to take our geared reels and we're going to hook to our fencing right down here at that gate, and we're going to run it all the way through to the other gate right there. So let me show you how I have everything all set up. The first step that I'm going to make, which I should have already made while I was on the four-wheeler, but I didn't, is we're going to walk this guy down. And I'm going to use, I have two different types of wire. This is poly braid. It's a little bit thicker. The other is poly wire, poly electric wire, and it's a little bit thinner. I'm going to put the thicker wire on the edge of the forest right here and the thinner wire out there in the grassy area of the yard. Okay, so we'll hang this guy down here. This is really handy. We'll just hang this hook right here. Pretty simple. That hook energizes this entire apparatus, so that's something to think about, guys. If you're going to buy a geared reel or something like that, this will energize everything, okay, aside from the rubber pieces like the handle and that handle right there. Next step, look at this ground. It is super, super hard, man. This is a bare spot. It's a bare spot because I put some soil down right here, and slowly that will grow in. This is good topsoil right here. That is not. This is what the farm looked like, man. This is what all the fields look like. This is what this place looked like. Isn't that crazy? Look at it now. Green, lush, well, a little bit brown, but green. Right now the cows are over in the shade. Once they start seeing me do this, they're gonna be right here at this gate, ready to get through the gate. The gate opens to the inside. Anticipate cows to get bottlenecked up here and get confused. So what I got to do is get all the animals right here to the gate, ready to rock and roll, ready to move before we get this done. So I kind of have to be a little bit quiet. Here's how I store my post, okay? So I leave these posts in the ground and I hang the other post right on top of it. It's pretty interesting. It's a simple way of storing your posts, and they're always here and they're always ready. All I have to do is take one out and stick it in the ground. Let's see how hard that chore is for today. I anticipate it's going to be pretty darn hard. So this is a strain right step-in post. There's your little step, your metal step-in. Very, very simple. Strain right. We're going to put our foot on here and we're going to try to get it in the ground. Yeah, went in the ground. Awesome. Doesn't have to be too awfully substantial, just has to hold up. Now we'll go all the way along the edge. I've got several posts stuck in the ground, and we'll just stick these in the ground and build our fence up. What'd I tell you? They're migrating over here. So they're waiting in anticipation of running down this alleyway that we're creating. So we're gonna go ahead and get our poly wire and get it ran. Can you see how excited the cows get? They buck and kick and run and have a blast. It's like giving them a new jar of candy. It's like giving a kid a new jar of candy, I guess. man, they just run around. And I don't know if you noticed when we first came into the pasture, but that bull just tackled a hay bale that was sitting out there, an old dusty hay bale. That's why you saw that big dust cloud. But man, the cows will run and check the perimeter of all the fences. That's the first thing they'll do. And then they'll just kind of settle in, go for the sweet grass first, and then they'll start getting into the less palatable grasses. But aren't they just beautiful animals? It's just such a pleasure to be able to bring this to you guys. If you don't live on a farm, or if you're dreaming of farming, or if you do live on a farm, I hope you can learn some lessons from the Stoney Ridge Farm channel, or live your farm life vicariously through me here on the Stoney Ridge. It's just a beautiful thing. Always, 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 when you're closing the gate, take that chain, latch it through like this, okay? And don't just leave it hanging. Tuck it in behind, so when a cow or something gets a hold of it and they pull up, it actually locks the gate back down, okay? Keep your animals safe, keep them in. That's what it's all about. So that's a successful cattle move right there, man. It couldn't be more simpler. My cows are as calm as kittens, man. I don't know if you saw from the drone footage, but the bull, the big old bull, came through and jumped over in a bale of hay and just busted it all to pieces. He was like super excited. It's really common when I move the cows like this for them to get super excited, start bucking and kicking, and as you can see from the drone footage, they'll step right over to the furthest point and test the fence. They'll just find holes for the fence. So you got to make sure all your gates are closed and everything's ready to rock and roll. So I've got a bit of an electrical repair to take care of, guys. Successful cattle move. That's what we're doing here on the farm. I'm really concerned. I'm gonna have to start feeding hay probably in the next 3 weeks, which is really not the norm here in North Carolina. This is going to be my first winter with this large of a group of cattle. So last winter we had 6 cattle. This winter it's going to be 32 cows. So be sure you pound that like button, jump in and follow along. We're going to be unrolling hay on the land. We're building a beautiful first generation farm, and I'm super proud to have you guys along with me. So thanks a lot. We'll see you next time on the Stoney Ridge Farm channel. Please post any comments or questions that you have down there and click that little bell icon. It'll notify you when we post a new video. All right? Woo!
Come on down to the Stoney Ridge, bring your wife and bring your kids. We're living life pure and sweet. That's the way it's supposed to be, Stoney Ridge. Woo!
Yeah, call him the drone. Drone's coming down. Man, this is the DJI Mavic Pro 2. I'm gonna walk you guys around. Thanks for sticking around to the end of the video. It's the DJI Mavic Pro 2 landing itself right now. Super cool. What's up with all the Honda elements and the new Coachman over here? So video coming soon on the Coachman. I love these Honda elements. They're really reliable. They're great vehicles. I've picked that one up because it's a life changer. It's something I can use to take to the mountain bike trails and travel around the country, get good gas mileage and stuff. And RNG, which is the one we're getting ready to walk up on, RNG is a mechanic special. So it's got a couple issues with it. We're gonna be working on that. Guys, let me know if you wanna see that on the channel. RNG is going to be a utility vehicle for the farm. So these things are huge inside, guys. I encourage you to look into one for your farm. They're huge inside, and ooh, there's an Amazon box in there. And they've got a great tailgate too, for tailgating. Pretty cool. Great vehicle, great farm vehicle. This one kind of stinks though. See you next time.